what's up everybody? Welcome back to my show. I'm DFL and today I'll be showing you guys how to do shadows the marble way because that's what I want to do. Apparently, well, that's what the book says to do. So I'm just going to show it to you and demonstrate it. So let's go. Right, let's start off with a few cubes. I know I said squares, but you know, technical term cubes, three-dimensional square, or however you want to call it. But I'm gonna show you the direction that the light's gonna go and where your shade should be. We're just doing a few examples that you can follow, or if you already know, then it's all good. If you wanna retouch up on things, it's always good to watch stuff like this. Anyway, just gonna do a few flats, shade the areas that's going to be dark. So enjoy this tutorial. Here I am shading in the side panel of the cube, and now I'm doing the other side. As you can see, is the demonstrations, the dark areas, which direction the lights are going, and yeah, you know, it's pretty basic. But you know, these people out there that don't know or they didn't know. Actually, I've never even done something like this before. I just shade where I think that the light should go. But it's always good to have examples, because then it can teach you something that you thought you already knew but you didn't. So this is quite helpful. And this book that I got this information from, I've had it for like 15 years, and I've browsed through it and I just never read it. But anyway, I'm pointing to the shadows where the light's casting. Yeah, 15 years. Yeah, and now, greatest rule of thumb is you're going to get good at drawing. Yeah, I'm pointing to the light again. That's the direction of the shadow, the light, blah, 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 blah. You get the gist. Anyway, great point of drawing is to practice every day. And if you don't have that luxury, just draw when you can. And if that's your thing, then it's all good, as long as you enjoy what you're doing. Now I'm going to draw a few spheres. Bit of a tongue twister, that word, a sphere. You can call them circles, moons, or rounds, whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to do a few diagrams, so not just on straight lines, you know, like boxes and flat cubes or whatever. I'm just going to do a quick example on circles, so you know how to shade and give it that three-dimensional look. Now I'm drawing the shadow from where the light would cast it, because it's a three-dimensional object, so it's got to give it the illusion. So even though it's a thin shadow, which means that the light is coming more on the top of it rather than on the side of it, because if it's on the side of it, that sphere will be more darker. So for the next one, I'm doing it where the light's coming from the bottom on kind of like a 45-degree angle. If you're a mathematician, good for you. But this is all about demonstrating lights and shadows, and I'm kind of like giving you an example of the typical normal shapes, but you can apply this to anything. So now you can see where the shadow is and where the light's coming from. So you kind of like get the idea, eh? So it's pretty simple. Now I'm gonna draw where the light is mainly on the other side of the sphere. So now you're gonna get an idea, a rough idea, where the shadow is going to be, which should take up most of the sphere, so it'll be mainly dark. And then also that gives you an idea of, you know, our moon, how we always see only one side, because the light is always on one side before it becomes a crescent and stuff like that, but you never get to see the other side. Transformers! Now I'm darkening in the shadow area, and I'm pretty sure by now you get it, but it's always good to show different angles.
I hope you guys are enjoying this tutorial. Hope it helps you in some way. It was quite fun doing this because I didn't have to worry about making mistakes or anything, or drawing a picture. It's just basically basic. Now this side, I'm drawing the light coming from a different angle and the shadow from another, just to give you the concept of your light in any angle that you would like to use on your drawing to give your picture more depth and more that three-dimensional look. You know, that wow factor. Wow. Do. Anyways, back to the tutorial. Now I'm going to draw a few cylinders just to give you an example of other objects. You know, these cylinders and spheres and cubes, if you want to draw something mechanical, like let's say a spaceship or a robot or something like that, everything is like shapes, and if you view them as shapes, it makes your drawing a bit more easier to draw, as in sketch wise, because you could sketch out the shapes, the cylinders, the curvatures, the angles and straights and flats, and then when you put your picture on top of it, you become a bit more symmetrical. And you when you draw your picture, well, for me, that when I draw one picture, I quickly sketch out those type of objects, and then that's how I get my proportions. But yeah, I am a bit slack on drawing stuff like hands and feet and noses and mouths. Anyway, you know me, when I start something and the next video comes along, I'm doing something else. But today's video is purely focused on shadows, lights, but no sound. Anyway, I'm DFL. Let's get back to the drawing. Let's get back to what we're doing. Yeah, feels like an interview, but it's not. So, anyways, the drawing at hand. Here's the shadow on a cylinder, what it would look like. And if you wanted to make it all fancy and flash, you can go out and draw some tubes and give it the bestest detail, and I'm pretty sure it'll look cool. But just remember, this is just a demonstration, and it's just a helpful hand for those of you who don't do drawing courses like I did. Practically learned everything watching YouTube and experimentation, going outside, watching where the shadows are coming from the sun, inside the house when light goes on, where the shadows are. And that's one thing about my personal point of view is drawing still life. And I hated it, honestly, I hated it, drawing it at school, like fruit and all that thing. But each to its own. If that's your thing, good on you. These cubism and these all those types of other styles, like Picasso with his abstract and all that kind of thing. What I suggest is draw things that you like drawing. You'll be good at it. But just remember, you do have to focus on other things for your background, and that'll make your picture stand out. I'm no genius. But anyways, that's me rambling on, because I know staring at lights and shadows is a bit boring. I say just practice. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it, and in your shading and everything will all come together. Always tell yourself you can do it, because you can. Okay, don't let anyone else tell you can't, but you can. You can if you try. Yeah, I must say, looking at these cylinders, they look like cigarettes, eh? Don't smoke, guys, it's not good for your health. I know the music, the music's a bit funky, but you don't get copyright, you know what I mean? Just try play something that's more just to go off your video. I'm giving it the thumbs up. I'm like, yay, all done, all finished. I'm out of here.
Well, as you can see, light and shadow. I'm using cylinders, squares, and what was the other one? Spheres. You know, the round circle looking things, the things that look like moons. So today's drawing was all about how to use light and shadow. It's how to use those contrasts in your drawings for those who need to figure out how to use the light source. I just go by whatever. But anyway, I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later.